welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Rebecca and I am a stay-at-home mom of 2 little kids and an online reseller. And I have started this new series that I'm calling Cozy on the Road because I just decided that with these trips back and forth to take my son to preschool, I have some time to make a little bit of YouTube footage when life is a little crazy and it's hard to find time to make some videos. In today's video, we are going to talk about 2023 reselling goals. My last reselling video was kind of a wrap-up from reselling of 2022. So I thought it would be good to make a video about what my goals are for this year. 2023 is going to be my 4th year reselling. I started back in 2020 in January before everything that we know happened since then happened. So it's been an interesting journey. I don't have a lot of experience, or really any experience in reselling before the economy kind of took that turn. Also, if you hear any little singing, that's my daughter in the back singing to herself. I definitely am still enjoying it. It's definitely changed for me. And I don't typically set goals. I don't do New Year's resolutions really. It's just not a thing I do personally or for business. I don't know why. I think I'm one of those people that's like, I'd rather just work as hard as I can and do the best I can, especially given that reselling, the money I make from reselling is not part of any kind of income to sustain our family. It is just something I like to do for myself, so I have something to do besides caring for the kids. And it does give me, obviously, some income. Right now, most of that income is going to pay for preschool. But, I also use it to buy the kids clothes and myself clothes, things like that. So with that being said, it's not like a hard and fast, I have to make this much money to support my family or anything like that. I kind of talked in my last video about how I have been improving as far as my take-home profit each year, which is great. And last year, I don't think I really gave numbers, but in 2022, my net profit ended up being right around $8,900. So my very loose goal for 2023 is to make $10,000 in net profit. That would show that I'm still improving slightly. And a lot of that just comes from being consistent with listing and picking up items that are going to make more money. So with that being my goal, I did notice when I looked back at my statistics that my best month last year was February by a lot. It was definitely my best month, and I think the main reason for that, I don't necessarily think it's because people are buying a ton in February. Maybe they are, but I think it's because you start off the year with these hefty goals and you're like, I'm going to list every day and get 5 listings in a day or whatever. I don't even know what my goal was, honestly, last year. But I think that you can stick with that pretty good for the first month or so. And I think you just don't see the effects of that until a month later. So I think that's why my sales were so high in February last year. I'll be interested to see how they are this year. So right now what I've been trying to do is get just 1 listing every day, which sounds super low, and it is. I obviously want to have more than 365 listings by the end of the year, new listings. But my big issue, I think, lately has been consistency. We know that pretty much everything, YouTube, Poshmark, eBay, they all want to see consistency, and that's when they'll boost your videos or your listings and things like that. So with that being said, I want to make sure I get 1 listing up every single day. So getting 1 listing up every day sounds super easy, but sometimes it's just not. Being a stay-at-home mom, I don't have dedicated work time. It's whenever I can fit it in. And if it's a day when I have to go get groceries, we have doctor's appointments, we have errands to run, it can be a struggle. And if it's a quick listing, sometimes, not too bad. But there's often times where my listings, they take a little bit of research. What style is this item? What are the comps? Maybe I want a stock photo. Things like that take time. It can take 15 minutes of research, which it shouldn't, but it can. So what I'm trying to do right now is have a draft bank on Poshmark. If you're not familiar with how I do my listings, I start everything on Poshmark, and then I do sell on about 7-8 platforms. It's a lot. I think 7 platforms and then whatnot, something like that. So I cross-list manually. I don't use any cross-listing software. I can talk about that more in a future video if you'd like. I kind of touched on it last year as well in my Death to the Death Pile series, which you can check out. But yeah, I do everything manually. So I start on Poshmark and then I copy and paste all of my information into my other platforms. So with that being said, I am starting my draft bank in Poshmark. And what I'm trying to do is to try my best to have 7 drafts in there, like a week's worth of drafts, because then the next day, even if it's a busy day, it doesn't take me long to just copy and paste the information into all my other platforms. It at least takes less time than having to come up with the description, the title, the stock photos, the editing the photos, all of that. It's much quicker if I already have that part done and I just have to copy paste. So that is what I'm trying to do right now. I've been doing it pretty well. Just started like in the last 2 weeks and it's been going pretty well. I feel like I'm noticing more activity on my different platforms, whether that's due to what I'm doing or just due to the time of year or whatever. I don't know, but I feel like it's working for me right now. So I'm going to keep that up as best I can. And then the idea is that once I have 7 just sitting in my draft bank, if I have extra time, I can go ahead and list some extra items essentially, and kind of work through things that way. So like earlier this week, I got down to only 3 left in my draft bank because I had like 4 days where I just couldn't draft anything. And then, which was great because I already had items in the bank to just list. And then yesterday I was able to make like 4 more drafts, listed 1 item this morning, so now I'm back down to 6. So if I can draft more today, then great, I will. If I can't, it's okay. I have 7 already drafted for the next week. So that pretty much covers like my goals. Like I said, I don't make like big hefty goals. That's kind of how I'm trying to work this year. It's how I'm trying to improve. Who is it? It's Natalie Bennett. She's not a reseller, but she's just like a mom life or lifestyle kind of channel I follow. She talks about how she has like a phrase for each year, and her phrase this year is progress over perfection. And I feel like that can ruminate with a lot of people. Couldn't come up with that word for a second. I feel like that can ruminate with a lot of people. There tends to be that feeling of I have to get everything perfect right away. And especially in business, even when it's like a side hustle business, you know, you just need to be getting better, essentially. You're never going to be perfect because your customers are going to change, the items are going to change, the economy is going to change. Things are constantly changing, but you just need to keep making progress. So, like for me, my inventory system is pretty on point. I'm a pretty organized person. So that's like not something I really have to work with. I haven't even really had to do anything to my inventory system since like the first year that I started reselling. That is something I'm super comfortable with. I like the way I have it set up and it works well for me. But there's other things that I need to work on, like processing new inventory coming in. So I've talked before about my death pile. I have probably 9 to 10 totes of, they're like 18-gallon totes full of unlisted inventory. And that doesn't include stuff that I have like pulled out for whatnot sales. So that's more than I'd like to have. And this happens to me every year because I yard sale as my main form of sourcing. I yard sale during the summer, so I'm picking up a lot and not having time to list it all. Yes, ma'am. You broke your sunglasses? Uh-oh. So I still plan to source the same way this year. There are some other like sourcing ventures I'd like to try out, but it's probably not gonna really work because I'm not sourcing at the moment. I am on like a sourcing hold, which is the same thing I did last year, so I can try to catch up with all my items that I have. So the thing that's different this year is because I've added Whatnot as a selling platform. When I bring those items home, I would like to take anything that I paid $1 or less for, which is a lot of items because people sell stuff fairly cheap at yard sales for the most part. I would like to bring them home and put them on Whatnot first before I even try to list them. I think that can at least lighten my load a little bit. I think that will lighten my load at least a little bit It'll give me a few items less to have to list and, you know, put on all my platforms, everything like that. So I do want to try that this year, see if that can minimize what I'm doing. The only thing that I'm not sure how I'm going to do it yet is I don't know if I want to bring everything home and just have like a sale where it's a bunch of random stuff, or if I want to organize them into totes, like women's clothing, maybe plus size, kids, and then maybe like vintage or something. I don't know which way I want to do it yet, if I want to like organize them into totes and then wait until like a tote is full. I'm not sure, but that's kind of all of the like goals I really have. That's kind of how I plan to work my business. Everything else will probably stay relatively the same. So let me know below if you're a reseller. Let me know what your reselling goals are for 2023 and how they have changed from last year or however many years you've been reselling. I'm definitely interested to hear. But in the meantime, I would love for you to subscribe, like this video if you enjoy reselling content. And you can follow me over on Instagram. I am at TheCozyShire, and I'm at TheCozyShire everywhere that you look. And I will see you guys in the next one.